I am Dr. Said Ammar Nakshawani, and this message is brought to you by the Mohsin and Fawziya Ja'far Foundation.
Are all Muslims Arabs? Are all Arabs Muslims? Having lived in London and having lived in North America, I've heard this so many times. You Arabs, all Muslims are Arabs. Muslims are all Arabs. Sometimes it could have a racial undertone. Sometimes it could just be someone misinformed. Sometimes every single restaurant that you go to, you realize is owned by an Arab, and then when prayer time comes, they all go to pray. So there's a classical association that's made. If you live in London and you look at the majority of the Muslim communities in London, you always imagine them to be Arab. But you may go further north and find out that not all Muslims are Arabs. Indeed, you find that there is a reason that some people may assume that a particular religion may be associated with a certain demographic. If you ask many people about Hinduism, they may only think about India. And if you ask people about Buddhism, they may only refer to the Far East. But that's still unfair, considering Christianity, as an example, has members who live in Africa, but also in South America, spread everywhere around the world. And a religion with an ideology that welcomes everybody of all backgrounds without differentiating their race is going to be welcoming to people of all different skin colors, background types, and their demographics will be spread out everywhere. Therefore, when you come to the religion of Islam, I cannot deny the holiest sites in the religion of Islam do tend to be in Arabian countries, Arabian demographics. A person looks at the Kaaba, it's in Mecca. A person looks at the grave of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him and his family, it's in Medina. Modern day Saudi Arabia, originally known as the land of the Hijaz. You normally associate these holy sites, which you see in Iraq, or you see, for example, in an area such as Iran or in Syria. But then the reality is that when a person does an examination of the numbers of Muslims in the world today, you realize that all Muslims are definitely not Arabs. What do you think is the country with the #1 Muslim population in the world today? I tell you one thing, you can ask members of your family and they may not even know. Some people might turn around to you and say to you Iraq, others might turn around to you and say to you a part of the Middle East. The country with the largest Muslim population in the world today is Indonesia. Indonesia. Who would have ever thought? And yes, even some Muslims are so narrow-minded that they don't know anything about Indonesia. So Indonesia has a wonderful Muslim community, just over 200 million Muslims. Not bad. When you look at Indonesia, it also highlights that the religion of Islam, for those who always say was spread by the sword, how did it reach Indonesia? Trade routes, interaction, good manners can all do the trick sometimes. Okay, someone might argue, Indonesia, over 200 million Muslims, but I bet after that you're going to go towards some Arab country. No. #2, India. India has an unbelievably large Muslim community. Again, no Arabs. We're talking here Indonesia, #1, India, #2. And then do not forget Pakistan. Pakistan, another large Muslim community. Arabs, not exactly. You may then hear, for example, the likes of Egypt. And yes, Egypt has a large Arabic-speaking community. But the largest was Indonesia, India, Pakistan. Bangladesh may even be thrown in. You want to go even further down in the pecking order, that's when you hear the names of the likes of, for example, Iraq and others. Saudi Arabia, just over 20 million Muslims. Who would have thought? You'd think that the hub of Islam would be over there. The holiest sites may have been. But Islam spread far and wide and welcomed people of all different backgrounds, cultures, races. At the end, we're all equal in the eyes of the Lord. Thank you for listening to this weekly broadcast. We invite your feedback to continue this dialogue.